Naveen, can you please mute? Santeri, shall we start?
Yes. Yeah, you can start. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, all.
Hi, everyone. This is Ram Deepak. Welcome to the first episode of Nilgiri Narratives, a new initiative by Nilgiri House IIT where we have some of the best minds to share their stories of perseverance and success, along with cutting-edge technical skills, and that are doing some phenomenal work today, and whose journeys are sure to inspire all of you guys out there to work even harder and become much better version of yourself. Today we have the first speaker of our show, a person who is having a peer who prefers peer partner to a competitor, a TED speaker, a friendly teacher, one of those teachers who teach programming with joy in an unconventional approach involving storytelling and fun activities. It's none other than our beloved Professor Dr. Sudarshan Iyengar, Head of the Department, Computer Science and Engineering, IIT Roper. He is here to deliver a talk on the topic of postmodern computation and groundbreaking technology behind it, Chat GPT. A very warm welcome, sir. The session is over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much, Ram Deepak. Thank you also, Santeri, who invited me for the event. So I see that probably there are more viewers on the YouTube, but there are quite a few viewers here too, around 30 of you. I'm going to run a small experiment on you people before we start off. That requires you all to keep the video on. Of course, I'm a big fan of of giving sessions where the video is on, not otherwise strictly. But then, yeah, I understand not all of you would be in a position to keep the video on. If it's possible, please switch on, because we'll be trying to illustrate something which is part of, let's say, I'm going to take a snapshot of you all and then show some computation out of it. Right? It'll be fun if you can keep your video on, preferably with some light on your face so that your face can be recognized. Right? Okay, so to begin with, before I set the pitch on what I'll be talking today, I would like to ask you people a small question and then solicit answers from your side. I'll give you a programming question, a very simple coding question, and ask you how much time will it take? Excuse me, sorry. How much time will it take for you people to finish this piece of code? Question is very simple. I'll take a snapshot of all of us here and then write a Python script to detect faces. Okay. It will take at least 1 week's time for me to learn what is required and then implement it. Of course, it's easy to copy paste from Stack Overflow and then execute the code. Code may not work. I may not understand what is what. I may not use some filters there, right? The code may not be well commented, right? Assuming that I asked this question 6 months ago, how much time do you think you will take to answer this? Easily 1 week's time. Assuming you know Python, you may want to look up what library functions you may want to use, right, to detect faces in a given picture on low light settings. Correct? So let's try doing that here with all of us. I am just taking a snapshot of all of you sitting here. Okay, give a smile so that you all are visible. Okay, ready, steady, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Okay. So I have a picture here, which I will save and show. Just give me a second. Add to photos. Okay. Let me share my screen in a minute. Just a minute. So if you expect me to code and show you something, this just a minute will obviously be there because I should be prepared on the fly. This is not something that I can come prepared because there is good adrenaline rush if we can show what we are doing, right? So we are there, almost there. Yes, I am now able to open the picture and I can share the picture with you all now. Okay, share screen. And here you go. Can you all see the picture? Right? All of you can see, right? So this is a picture. Full screen, right? What I'm going to do right now is to write a code to detect the faces here. Very simple. Okay. This code will work on 100 people or 200 people. Okay. Imagine from asking the question to taking a picture on the fly to writing a code for it and then executing it used to be a humongous task before November 30th. You all know what I'm going to talk about, right? You would have guessed. But right now, it is just child's play, right? Why, how, what are its consequences? Can I really do it? First of all, let me check that. Is it even possible? I have a feeling it may not be possible. I'm just running a random test. I may fail here. With all your permission, let me run this cognitive test. If I can actually take a picture on the fly and then detect all the faces. Okay, so my Python shell is already here. On the desktop, I have this file called zoompic.jpg. All right, good. So here's my terminal, which I'll share with you all. Okay. Maybe even my ChatGPT window, if you can give me a second. I'll share my desktop itself so that it's easy. All right. So you all can see my terminal, right? Put a thumbs up if you can see it, just so that I don't mess up. Put a thumbs up. You can see it, Naveen? Santeri? Yes. Ramdeepak? Perfect. So here is my ChatGPT, and here is what I'm going to type right now. I hope it's visible. Help me with a Python script which takes a JPG file, JPEG or JPG, that's all. There's no E there, okay? You can write it as EG extension too, which takes a JPG file as input from the current directory. The name of the file is zoompic.jpg. All right. This script should detect all the faces in the picture and create separate image files of the picture in the current directory. That's it. All right. So let's execute this. Of course, I'm not showing anything new. You all have seen this already, right? ChatGPT can generate code. I'm talking to a bunch of computer science people. So I will not tell you what is ChatGPT. I'll not tell you what is Python coding. I think I have done it enough in your first term or second term, whenever you study the Python subject. Okay, it is saying, please install this. Let me install this to begin with. Okay, it's getting installed, some 50 MB, but then it says there should be some file in the current directory. Okay, assume I know nothing about Python. I know nothing about OpenCV, computer vision. I am barely a computer literate, right? Still, whatever I have done right now does not involve any computer science, right? Okay, almost done. I'll go to IPython And then I will go to my desktop, and then I will paste the code from here, which actually looks funnily small. Error, it's throwing some error. Probably that file, this har cascade frontal face default.xml is not there. Let me post this error on ChatGPT and ask what's happening. See, it told me already that you should have it in the current directory, but me as a novice, just barely a computer literate, did not understand it. So this error message is indicating that the classifier cannot be found in the current directory. To resolve this, you can download the classifier from the OpenCV GitHub repository. Here's a link to download the classifier. How difficult is it to understand this English language, right? So I will save the link as, let's say, something on my desktop. Done. It's stored now, which means I should be able to execute this. Let's see. Some more error. All right, let's copy paste. As I told you people, I have not tested this before. I'm trying it on the fly. Okay, we did that already. Can you modify the code so that it doesn't have dependency on this XML file or on this file? That's all. Sure, here's a modified version of the code that uses a built-in face directory in OpenCV. Boom, boom, boom. Instead of that, all right? So I'm using plain English language here, right? Okay, so copy code and come here and let me copy paste this. Still not working. Oh God. Am I copying it properly? Okay. No. Okay, let's copy paste this. I don't know. Showing something. Maybe it's a. Maybe it cannot do. It means ChatGPT is not all that powerful, or maybe it does. We don't know. Okay. I'm not even reading the error. You see, I mean, that's the tip that I have been giving you people in the course, that you have to read, debug, etc., etc. No, it's not working. It's not working at all. Let me try a fresh conversation. Help me with a Python script which considers the file zoompic.jpg in the current directory and then detects all the faces in this picture and outputs this as files in the same directory. Again, it's using har cascade frontal face default.xml. Right. Okay. No problem. Let's try using that itself. Okay, some struggle. See, I want to illustrate this struggle because I'm showing you. It's very easy to try that once and then show the same thing to you all. But that's not mesmerizing enough, because the revolution that ChatGPT is creating is at the level of Anybody can code. Okay. Good. Copy pasting this error here, going from fresh. See, again, all the work that I'm doing is at least 1 week's time for a Python literate. Okay. How do I download this from the OpenCV repository? Help me with the link for it. Modify the code so that the code itself downloads the required file and places it in the current directory. Okay, let's try this. Okay, people who are trying to help me out in the chat window, don't worry. Someone saying chat GPT is not that powerful. Okay, let's see. If I'm unable to do it, it proves that it is indeed not that powerful. So be it. Okay, lot of errors. Does it really have this? Let's see if the file is really available. Okay, it's indeed available here, but then help me with a code which doesn't have this dependency so that we don't have to download anything. Hindsight, this might work. Let's see. Still, look at the cognitive aspect of it. This person who is coding does not know anything, no language. As this is printing the code, please understand that coding used to be in the language of zeros and ones by programmers. I'm not talking about computer coding in the language of zeros and ones. Programmers would code it in binary long back. Okay, as it's getting installed. Programmers would code it long back using binary. And then came better ways to do that. They went one level higher and you could use some codes to code it, not necessarily binary, thus making your life faster. After that came your assembly level languages where you had, if you have had some microprocessor experience, you would know that you code, but you don't code it so comfortably. You code it directly by plugging into the processor. Right, so the 8085, 8086, if you have done in a similar way, people would code what is called the ALLs, assembly level language, and then came higher level language, right? Things like Python, things like Pascal. I'm sorry, and then C, C++, etc. And then came Python, which is a scripting language where Python is basically C, right? Okay, a lot of errors. No, doesn't look like it's going to do what we want. But still, let's see. Okay. Now, I'll continue the story later of the scripting language. There's no, because it did not get downloaded. My setup.install did not run successfully. It is saying to update, run this. Let's try running that. It's a struggle still. Okay, so Python was a scripting language written on top of the C libraries, C as a language, and it made our life really simple. Whatever I have taught you people as part of your second terms, Python it is joyful because I did not tell you the zeros and ones version of it, which I don't know. Right? I didn't use C because C would not make your life as easy as what Python did, right? But then we have gone one level higher, which is maybe English as a programming language. And pause and then think. I'm using only English to state what I need, and it generates the Python code. And Python code is not necessarily Python code. Python invokes C, correct? Python is built on top of C. So Sudarshan uses English, and the English gets converted to Python, and Python is basically C, and C is probably something else at the next level, and that is probably something else, something else, something else, and at the final end, it is simply zeros and ones, right? Nothing else. Now, we have been stacking things up more and more sophisticated and complex, and ultimately, we now have a programming language, which is which is simply plain English, and it understands when you make mistakes too. Yeah, we'll even discuss why it's taking so much time for this to work. CMake needs to be installed. It says, I don't know what is CMake, let's say. Fortunately, I know, but then assuming I don't know. Okay. How do I handle this? It says brave install CMake karo. Kar lete hain. Kar lete hain. We are very, very close. I think this will fix the problem. Okay, let it run. So I was telling you that we have kept English on top of this. As this is getting installed, can you tell me what can be the next step? Right. So initially there were at the machine level. Let me make this go. It'll take some time because CMake it probably will take 5-10 minutes to install. Tell me, at the binary language, on top of it, we kept something that is, I think it's called MLLs, machine level language, and then assembly level language, higher level language, scripting language like Python, and on top of that is English. Usse zyada kya ho sakta hai? What can you put above English? Tell me. Maybe you can plug in electrodes to your brain and it will realize what's happening, what exactly you want, and it can probably convert that to English, and in English will be converted to a Python script, and so on. That also looks very far-fetched. But then what we mean by postmodern computing here is whatever we thought was modern computing, this is post that. For instance, for all I knew, let's say back in 2010, let's say even 10 years ago, 2015, or I would say even 2020, I wouldn't know there would be a system which would simply create code as you state what you want. Right? It is not believable because we read this theoretical results. There's something called the halting problem. No computer can detect whether your code is entering an infinite loop or not. Something as simple and silly as that. Code is entering an infinite loop. If a machine cannot detect that, there are proofs stating that you cannot write a code that detects whether a code enters infinite loop or not. Halting problem. If we cannot even do that, how can we write a system? How can we design a system that can generate its own code? Unbelievable, right? I thought this is never going to happen. 2020, I thought this won't happen. But while we saw this, all these attention results coming up, doing all wonderful things in NLP, although I still do not understand in and out of it. It is taking time. I'm planning to offer a course next semester. I may have to sit, read, create notes, and probably give you postmodern computation ka ek course, which will open up the pomegranate one seed at a time and then teach you what's happening behind these large learning models. But then this came unexpected, totally unexpected. What are its repercussions? What is it that we must do to ensure that the repercussions we do not face? See, with knife comes the ability to chop vegetables, and with that opens up the possibility of you misusing it, right? So I was quoting this example recently where a martial artist who puts forth 10 to 15 years of effort in building every single muscle of his body, and every single, from knuckle to your elbow to your every single joint, he empowers it so that his blows are clear, his punches are perfect, his kicks are deadly, and a gun comes. Of what use is a martial artist now? And even if there's a gun, you can see the person, somehow you can throw something and then get rid of the person holding a gun. But then what if someone hires a sniper? Right? And now we have come to the era where people talk about going nuclear in the next few minutes and destroying the entire country, right? So there's absolutely no way we can expect sort of to know what is coming next. Let's see what is coming next on my terminal. It is still running, so let it run. If it doesn't work, maybe I'll show you another example. But still, I think all of you have seen ChatGPT and its possibilities, right? Can you raise your hand if you have written a piece of code and the code has worked? Unlike me, let's say I wrote a piece of code, it didn't work. How many of you have written a piece of code and executed it? Yeah, Utkarsh, Hemant, Santeri, Rajneesh, Akhilesh, Rituparna, Atharva. Very few people, I must say. Out of 83 people, I don't see more than 3 rows here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 is a 15. 15 people probably. Okay, that's a very small number. I don't know why, but you should try it. It works like a charm. It works wonderfully. Now comes the question, what do I do now, given that a machine can code? What is it that I should understand so that I can be a hot piece of prospective employee in a workplace? If you come and tell me, sir, I want to work as a research assistant under you, I will say, what will you bring on my table? I have been asking that to my interns lately. My interns will say, I know C, C++, Java, JavaScript, that this was a big list. I'm very proficient in all these things, etc. They use ChatGPT to generate that text, by the way. They generate and then send it to me in very, very polished English, and I read, and then probably even I should generate my reply on ChatGPT. How do I politely say no to this person? But then why do I want to say no? I want to say no because what is it that the intern is doing that is new that ChatGPT doesn't do? Right? What is it that you're going to bring in new to the table that the GPT-3 doesn't do? Right? The intern doesn't have an answer. And that's the place I want to zoom in and give you all a tip. If you write to anyone, update your LinkedIn profile that you know so many languages, probably today a person like me or your prospective employer may not be that impressed as much as he or she would be some 2 months ago. Yeah, we'll get there. So ChatGPT cannot be innovative, creative, etc., etc. I've seen these questions enough. I have at least seen 1,000 different questions on this topic. If we say A, people will say A dash, A double dash, A triple dash. We'll address all of them in today's talk. My question to you all is, if you were to be writing an application for employment or internship, what will you include there which will not sow seed of suspicion in a professor like me or an employer like XYZ, that what is it that this person is bringing new to the table? Talking about creativity and innovation, all right, I will agree. ChatGPT, we all know, will not replace me, will not replace you, but it will make our life very, very simple. It is going to make my 1 week's life, that the code that I was trying to do here, let's probably in 1 hour's time, I can crack this. It's giving me trouble because this very system desktop at home, I have not installed, I have not updated it, for quite some time. Even iOS is slightly old. So CMake function for some reason is not there, right? So Santeri, my small request, maybe you can disable chat for just a few minutes. it's a little distracting for me, if not for others. I feel like addressing what they're saying there. Okay. All right, perfect. So feel free to direct message me, but then that way I can see it later. I'll not be distracted. But between you people, if you start talking, that will distract all of us. All right. So what is new that you will be getting on the table is a tough question to answer. Of course, yes, it cannot replace me. It cannot replace you. We all know that. But it has made our life so simple that let me tell you the problem that I am facing right now. The past 3 research papers that I have written, which would have probably taken 6 months for me. Probably I should talk to my PhD students. They will tell me they are the ones who manage everything properly. So we come at the last moment. We probably give the idea, or sometimes it's their own idea. And at the end, after the paper is ready, they'll show it to us. Roughly, it's 6 months for a research paper. And that 6 months I think has dropped to 15 to 20 days today. Plain 15 to 20 days today, maybe even less. I mean, that is strange. Think about it. 6 महीने का काम अब 15 दिन में हो रहा है. 15 दिन actually is an exaggeration. Maybe you should be creative, form a nice question, try to see what people have done in that direction, and then you come out with your own idea. And your own idea requires execution. These things can happen over chai and pen paper discussion in a cafeteria. But then you get back to the lab and do the bench experiment, like a chemist trying to mix chemicals. That is for us programming. And that is not required. There are robots in the chemistry lab right now, equivalent to ChatGPT. It does everything for you. Some integration, some code debugging probably, or even that it does. Some back and forth interaction with ChatGPT, which by the way, if OpenAI is accessible, if you can afford it, maybe you can write a code to automate whatever I'm doing right now, back and forth. Right? It will ask GPT to give the solution. It will test the solution. If the error comes, you use the try option in Python, exception handling. If there is any exception, you put that back to the API, OpenAI API, and then do what it says. This entire thing, whatever I'm doing right now with ChatGPT, can be automated. Probably. If that becomes the case, 6 months becomes 15 days. And today I clearly see at least 5 to 6 of my research projects. See, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about any fellow researcher, scientist, engineer, or a developer, or a person who's pursuing a project. I thought of creating A, B, C, D. All these A, B, C, D today ChatGPT is doing. Many things that we thought is an algorithm which simplifies our life. GPT-3 is doing it perfectly. Now, I am confused what to work on next. So I'm switching to understanding GPT-3. That seems to be the only thing left right now. And bettering GPT-3. Now, getting back to this zoomed in question, what is it that you will bring on table that will excite me as an employer, and I will take you? This is a very hard question to answer. If you were to be asking me this question, being the employer and me being the student, I don't have an answer for this. Okay, some of you can talk to ChatGPT and then give me the answer. Maybe it can give you the right answer. Can some of you unmute and tell me what is it that you will bring on table? If I ask you, your resume, if it reads, I know A, B, C, D, E, is not impressive today. How else can you impress me? Me as an employer. Go ahead. Ritun, yes? Anyone else? Raise your hand. Utkarsh, go ahead.
So a better English proficiency for the least.
Okay, you all know, right? I will go and say, tell me about IIT Madras in the language of Shashi Tharoor. ChatGPT does it.
Right.
So, what is novel and nice? No, you tell me, how would you be? Go ahead. Keshav, Gokula Krishnan, Rabani, Samyukta, Atharva, Naveen, Ram, Santheri, whoever who have your video on, go ahead. Can you tell me what is it? What is new that you will be bringing on table?
Shall I speak, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe something which I can foresee. Chat GPT cannot. Uh, Something like forecasting, analyzing uh, what can happen in future, prediction sort of thing.
Yeah. So see, again, two things. One is there are certain things ChatGPT cannot do. We all know that, but it can do the same thing very quickly. I mean, whatever we used to do before using OpenAI like toolkits, we are able to do it in no time, right? So why should I employ a person? What is, see, let's say, okay, so let me put it this way. All of you are BS students. Is that true, Santeri? All of them are BS students, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is it that you people, tell me, what is elevator pitch? Elevator pitch is you meet some CEO in the elevator. Okay. You have only 30 seconds, because in 30 seconds, the elevator will reach the top floor. The CEO will get out to his office. Within that, you must convince the CEO that you are worth it, right? How will you do? You are given 30 seconds. Tell me, how can you impress me? Without any glorified language, please. I mean, we can always talk. That's boring today. We all know what is superficial, what is bloated, and what is not. Tell me, why should someone hire you, Atharva?
Just like in the past, Googling was an art, and everyone can Google, but you should know what to Google and how to Google. Maybe chat GPTing will be an art. You need to know what to ask, how to ask it exactly, so that you get the right results and you're able to tweak them well. Also, along with that, like just like chat GPT is a overall model for everyone to use. Maybe having your own chat GPT or your own personal trained model which is customized to your requirements may be a better solution.
Now, not convinced, not impressed. 30 seconds over. CEO walks out. Atharva, next time I use the lift, maybe you can try once more. Go ahead, once more.
Me again, sir?
No, so
that's
there's a
all
lot of ifs, buts, and maybes there. Be specific.
Sir, it can be like I can increase the sales if I'm speaking to a CEO. How I can bring a new business to him, new profits. Probably if I ask something from ChatGPT, even I've tried that also, it will only give you certain benchmarks like, profitability or PE or book to value, all those things. But how business will come, probably I can tell. That is why I said, forecasting, looking something in future and, predicting sort of thing. Probably ChatGPT cannot.
So I think then, Anil, let me mono act as CEO. I mean, let me pretend to be a CEO, role play as CEO here. Anil,
Sure.
I think I know what you're saying. I can do it with ChatGPT myself. I can write a piece of code which forecasts based on, I look at the Sensex data so far, and I'll see whether Sensex is going to spike up tomorrow or spike down. Based on that, I will invest on Sensex and then make some bucks in the next 24 hours, right? Because I can write the code. Right? If that can be, if you or any XYZ can actually analyze that further and then tell me, then I'll be convinced. But as of now, I don't understand the science of analyzing something beyond a piece of code, aka algo trading, right? So I'm really not convinced is how I'll reply, and I'll walk away from the lift. Go ahead, more questions, more points, maybe.
Sir,
No, but still a good try. Good try. All of you are trying good, but then go ahead, tell me more.
So I'll attempt, sir. So like, I'll tell him that a lot of things are happening through ChatGPT. People are doing this. What you have not done it before. So I have that curiosity that can outperform ChatGPT in next 5 years. I can change the entire business model.
Be specific. What is that? How can you do that, Keshav?
So I'm curious enough to break this ChatGPT to bring something XYZ in coming 5 years.
How? So this is like saying, sir, I'll use petrol for computation. You let me do that. How? I'm a CEO. I'm going to invest in you, Keshav. I'm going to give you 5 crores per annum salary, right? How will you be a worthy employee of my firm, right? So yeah, you have to convince me. I'm not convinced.
So I'll bring facts to prove that I have delivered based on my curiosity, which was not there before. So based on that,
I would say no, Keshav. Again, I'm trying to role play. Don't mind. I have known you particularly, so you are smart, but then I don't know you. I am role playing as though I don't know you. It's only 30 seconds that you get. Whatever you say, it's like I will use petrol and make gold out of it. I know how to do it. I will not. It's like selling snake oil for me. I will not be convinced. Right? I'm reasonably smart. I'm a CEO of a top company. Right? So in 30 seconds, what else will you convince me of? More? Yes. Balamurugan?
Yes, the CEO or the person who interviewing me is he is also know about everything about the ChatGPT. So I will make myself as a I know how to use the ChatGPT efficiently, and also I can use my innovative thing to generate more productive thing. Yeah, this is the way I will put myself to that CEO.
These CEOs are very sharp. They know, they want to see how exactly this will convert into bucks in the immediate future, right? So again, this sounds like kerosene to gold. I don't know, right? Samyukta, go ahead.
Sir, I think I could talk about communication. I know if you were giving a context to ChatGPT, it could probably give you the perfect line to the dialogue to say it. But then humans, I think our USP is that we know about the context and we have a voice, tone, intonation that machines can't possess. So there's a way to say certain things.
Very good. So you're trying to say that ability to articulate. See, you look at what I'm talking. I have my gestures, I have my modulation. That only humans can do. But the script can come from ChatGPT, correct?
Yeah.
Which means I'm only saying I'm being Amitabh Bachchan. Amitabh Bachchan cannot be replaced, but the script, direction, lighting, etc., others will do, which ChatGPT is doing. So use me as a speaker. Except speaking, I am not so useful.
They're also reading situational clues and then acting accordingly.
That ChatGPT is very, very good at. You ask relationship related questions. It gives you wonderful answers, which probably 99% of the counselors will not be able to give. I don't know. I'm making a blanket statement here. By 99, I mean most of them, right? Because I have tried asking it questions about real life, some office related problems, and the way it interprets and gives me the answer, oh my God, I must confess, I don't have that amount of intelligence and sort of empathy-filled words that ChatGPT can render, right? Unbelievably better than average people. Maybe extraordinary people, top 5% you cannot beat. They cannot beat ChatGPT cannot beat them, but 95% of them are below ChatGPT in my opinion. I'm not saying it. You go. For me, it is 95%. For you, it could be some other number. Go see it. Type a small. I'll narrate one small incident which happened recently. One of the students came to me and he told me a problem he is facing in the classroom. Okay, specifics aside. And I told him that, look, this is what I feel is the problem. The problem is with you, not with anything else. Not with your classmates, not with the teacher, it's with you. Let's ask ChatGPT. I phrased it neatly, a big passage, and I told him I'm going to hit enter. Whatever ChatGPT says, we will take it with a pinch of salt, but whether it's a machine or a parrot, if it's saying something worthwhile, let us listen to it too. I hit enter, it gave me something, and the student had a smile on his face as he left my cabin because we had solved his problem. He understood very well that the problem was actually with him, not with the class or with the teacher or whatever. Right? I'm sorry, me as a counselor, me as a learned person, which the student came to ask help from, I could not do better than ChatGPT. Right? I mean, that again is questionable. CEO walks away. Okay, more. Yeah, Santari.
Sir, I would prefer to design a poster or design a wireframe for an application, which ChatGPT cannot do. Because that is a text-based AI language model. It cannot design posters.
Decide posters, is it?
Yeah, it cannot design posters.
Design posters, I don't know. At least the technologies that I have seen cannot do it really well. All right, people who can design posters are in demand today. But then if you can feed some million posters, there should be some ML model which will tell me whether the given poster is good or not, or it can be generative. Generative means, can you design a new poster given some information? DALL-E generates images based on information. I think this is just one step away or one step closer, or it's already done. I am unaware of it. Generating anything visual based on text input is pretty well known, right? Okay, more? All right,
Yes,
so
sir.
let me go ahead. Someone else, maybe Lakshmi Nandan, go ahead. I'm giving preference for people who have the video on. Go on.
Yeah, so ChatGPT has all the human knowledge till 2021. So I, as a human, can have new ideas, like after 2000.
Yeah, so that is that's a small misinformation that we carry, rather misinterpretation that we carry. ChatGPT has used data up to 2021. Data to infer things and create the neural model that it has, the large language model, as they call it, right? So it's like a super intelligent person in 2021 may not know what happened in 2022. The person may not know about Turkey earthquake, right? But then up to 2021, anything inferential means what? What is given to you is not wisdom. How you use it and infer something from that corpus is sort of up to 2021. How much time will it take for them to make it run for up to the last month? Probably they don't want to do it there. This is just as I keep saying, it is just Nokia's first phone model, right? Apple iPhone whatever Max Pro 14 is yet to come, right? So this is not a problem. All right, so let me give you my pitch, which I think will sort of impress myself. Correct me.
So can I say one more?
Lakshmi Nandan, go ahead.
Yeah, so it doesn't work like automatically. So it still needs an operator, like a car needs a driver, like everything. So like it cannot generate its prompts by itself. So there will always be a human which will give it a prompt.
Yeah,
so
maybe it may become less and less required with time. As of now, it requires a prompter, but even that prompter, as I told you, because of the ChatGPT's interface at the front end, it requires you to copy paste stuff. What if you connect that to a small script which writes the code based on your English language and does back and forth and whatever. Jo bhi main kar raha hu abhi, ab dekh lo. I shared my screen, right? CMake is slowly getting installed. How difficult is it for it to know that CMake is not installed on the machine and then install it? All right, it should basically be, it does that. If you have tried it, it does. It tells you what is wrong there and even tells you how to install it, right? Okay, so here's my quick pitch. I will go a little beyond 30 seconds. Please don't mind, because I'm in the explanation mode, but you can always condense it to 30 seconds or ask ChatGPT to paraphrase it. It will do it for you. Very simple. The CEO will have a company with some N people. I will tell him that, look, with ChatGPT like technology, you only hire 5 MBAs. They can do coding. Compression of the office staff will be massive. I will tell you how to do that. I will tell you how we can automate whatever is running in your company right now. That way, there will be huge cost cutting for your company. And the cost that is cut is basically yours in your pocket, right? CTC, as they say, cost to the company per head, is a big number. It is way beyond the salary that you get, right? It's not just the salary. It is your insurance, the chair that you sit, the coffee machine's running cost that is involved, and the automated doors that open when you walk in, and the biometric system that you use, and the HR bills that you get. All of this can be automated. I'll help you automate it. Allow me to do that. I will do a wonderful job. I have a feeling if you are spending 10 rupees, you will be spending 1 rupee if you hire me. I know how to do that, right? Now my question, do I really know how to do that? Was that a hyperbole? Did I exaggerate? Do you think you can learn how to do this? So that is where, quote unquote, postmodern computation comes in. It was there already. You could use a database in a supermarket and avoid writing on the ledger. You could use RFIDs on your product and scan things quickly and release the customer in no time. You could create the billing system without the person sitting on the counter. If you have been to Decathlon used that during COVID, right? What they did was you take an app, you shop whatever you want, use the app, generate the bill, pay it there. The security will check whether the bill is matching with your items. That's all. There is nobody else in between. This is extremes of automation. Even the security can be automated where you pass the items that you have bought and the bill is sent on a scanner. You walk out, it comes out saying the bill is perfect. The products are in place. Right? One step beyond what Decathlon did. Or the payment itself happens as you pass the stuff, you take the stuff outside by paying the bill there live. Right? So this idea was there in 1990s. Easy to imagine, no? There's no high-end technology here. Matlab in the theoretical model of what I said, items will have unique identity. There'll be a detector of this unique identity. It was realized by RFID-like devices, right? And then there's a system called credit card, which you swipe and then pay and then walk out. As simple as that. You don't need any human intervention here. But who will do all these things? There are so many layers there, right, of creating an RFID device to keep that secure. What if I tamper with the RFID device inside and put my own RFID device and then bring out 1 lakh worth stuff and pay 10 rupees, right? It better be safe. It better be secure. It better not breach your privacy as you're shopping something. They should not map the credit card information to the items that you have bought. You will not like it as a customer, right? So on and so forth. Who could do this back in 1990s? Software engineers could do it. They could automate all these things as a piece of code. Now that code can be automated. Now we must understand the demand today is immediate next in the postmodern computation era is to see if you know how to automate an office environment. So that me as a CEO can hire a few MBAs and very few programmers and run the show that I used to run before, which otherwise required 20 MBAs and 50 programmers. I can do it with 5 MBAs and maybe 10 programmers. Huge cost cutting and double all their salaries, no problem. Still cost will go down by half, maybe even less, by employing only you as a person who understands all these things. Right? The whole idea of full stack development was also that, where things are getting easier and easier. You can probably understand the front end, back end idea of databases, implementing an algorithm, etc. was like never this easy as it has become lately. But even that full stack has become super full stack today with something as elegant as ChatGPT. Right? Whenever I say ChatGPT, the word chat there is for a novice beginner, but then the GPT like tools where it understands what you want, you in a question answer based way is what I mean when I say ChatGPT. For all educational reasons, I will use the word ChatGPT, but I mean tremendous automation in place. Now you gear up to become this. There are places which still continue teaching what was popular in 80s in the year 2000. They did not get updated. They didn't want to. They never saw what is coming. I'll give you one example from my side. OpenAI has been there for a long time. GPT-2 was available on the website. GPT-3 was available 10 months ago. I have reinvented the wheel. I have used tools and toolkits and written code that otherwise I would 8 months ago. I'm not talking about post ChatGPT. 10 months ago, let's say last year, March, April, I did not know these tools existed while they existed. See, I'm a professor in this institute where my institute gives me a lot of time to update myself. I teach very less. They expect me to do more research and offer innovative courses. I could not do it. It took me so much time to update myself. It definitely will be so for a student too, because it is me who teaches students, right? You have to wake up. We have to wake up as teachers. Companies have to wake up. HR should wake up. CEOs should wake up too. The cost cutting will be at the level of N becoming M, but M is there. M is not zero. The moment we say, one FAQ that people will ask is, you think a chat GPT like stupid software can replace a human being? No, that's not what we are saying. It's going to zip human beings. It's going to compress the workforce. Means what? Less effort, more work done, which means we can get a lot of work done in the world. Think about it that way. But then an immediate next, which may come ahead, a suspected come ahead, is the following. Software requirement was a lot more. Hardware requirements were just enough. Everyone has a cell phone right now, correct? We don't, there is a required software for the cell phones is there. Hardware is already available. Everyone has one. Fine. But then do you think every single car has a device that can communicate with every other car or the toll booth and etc., etc.? Why is there still a queue in your FASTag toll collection? That's because FASTag is actually a 10-year-old technology, 10 or even 15-year-old technology. Computer vision technology there is much, much easier. You put a camera, you may even capture the person sitting inside, keep it private, keep it secure, match the whatever nameplate with the person sitting inside. Maybe you will get his information. China does it already massively. It understands who is going where, what are they doing, etc. I think so, from what I understand. We can probably do that without any privacy breach. But then, ये सब करने के लिए hardware बहुत ज़्यादा चाहिए, right? Not just that, hardware के साथ साथ software भी. Software के साथ साथ software related privacy breaches that will come should also be patched, right? The so-called blockchain technology, वो ये बोलते हैं ना, that requires enormous amount of coding and hardware to hardware interactions well understood and implemented. Now, that is not a problem from the software end. Software is going to what? As you understand, the amount of code written so far will get tripled in the next 1 year, right? Because of ChatGPT. That much at least you realize, right? Whether human does it or machine does it, or a combination of these two do it. It's going to happen. It's going to triple in the next few years, if not 1 year. Now, coding ka kami nahi hai. You have a lot of coding possibility. But with coding comes the hardware device. IoT devices ka kami hone wala hai. Initially, IoT devices were many in number. We had to sit and write data analytics code. Now that's not required because data analytics code is available. I mean, ChatGPT does it for you. But there'll be requirement for more IoT devices. So people who are into electronics, electrical, please don't switch to computer science. we get this request for internships saying, sir, I am from EC background, but I'm very interested in computer science. Can I do an internship with you? I have a feeling, if anything, it should be other way around. We have done a lot of computer science right now. Computer science people should also go, as much as electrical want to come this side to computer science. Computer science people, CSC in subject X comes to computer science MTech. Because they say, mujhe computer science karna hai. There is great demand. Now I think it's computer science BTech going to some other domain like electrical, electronics, communication, etc. Because this combo is wonderful, right? Of course, EC can come to CSC. CSC should also go to EC right now. So all you people out there, take these two tips, which I think may work, or get back to me after 1 or 2 years and then hold me by the collar saying that aap kuch bole, kuch aur hua. Kuch bhi ho sakta hai, we do not know. But from what I understand, I have a feeling that it is either the end of classical CSC and the beginning of new kind of computer science and engineering. The end is not a bad news. For a chapter to end, it should connect to a beginning of the next chapter. Finishing of a super hit movie starts a sequel of it, right? You avoid the sequel that will come in the near future and probably better the existing movie. हमें पता है कि prequel नहीं आने वाला है, sequel तो बिल्कुल आएगा of what computer science has done so far. Okay, so keep your mind open. That two tips are that if you're CSC graduate, try to learn something else. What is that something else? Keep a watch on what is happening. Look at current affairs. You probably will understand current affairs in technology, not IAS exam ka current affairs. Okay? First thing is be updated. Second thing is know that you should be a king in automation. You should know how to automate what. For instance, can you write a code to sort of handle the smart devices in your house? The light I'm using is a smart device. I go to an app and then meddle with it. The app is closed. I cannot meddle with the app further beyond what it gives me as GUI. Can you write a piece of code that does what is what? For instance, I'll give you a simple example. I walk into my house. It's a project that I would not give 2 months ago because it's very complicated to do this, right? Today, I walk into my house. I have a simple MI camera, which is available for a couple of $1,000, 2,000 rupees. It captures my face from different angles, understands my emotion, and plays a music on my Alexa device accordingly. This was not easy 2 months before because har ek cheez, whatever I said, point 1, enter, point 2, you capture, point 3, you read that image, point 4, you understand the emotion, point 5, you play a song accordingly. This was not possible pre-modern computation. But post-modern computation, this is very easy. What you will get stuck in the programming the way I got stuck just now, but it is not 1 week's task. It is just 1 hour of fighting, right? This probably you will be able to write a piece of code for this, right? And imagine you integrate this into the MI camera like device itself. Plug in a small speaker to it. Based on your mood, it will play the right music. It will see what you're doing. You're working in the kitchen. It will play music accordingly so that you don't feel frustrated with the kitchen complexity. If you're having dinner, it will play slow instrumental music. Like you go to a hotel, it will always be some slow Bollywood instrumental music, right? If you finish your dinner, if you're going for sleep, probably it should play the music accordingly. So can you connect the cameras, understand the emotion of the hall, and play a song accordingly? This would be probably $1 million project 2-3 months ago. If you have a startup idea like this, tough to execute. You may not get the right device. It may not work in the Indian context. But today you can experiment it massively in a short period of time. And you alone, you don't need a big office for this. You alone can create a software today. It is not difficult. Connect, take an MI device, take an Alexa device. Budget 10,000. Within 10,000, Python is free anyways, ChatGPT is free. Within 10,000 rupees, you can create this device right away. Not possible 2 months ago. Now look at the amount of massive change that's going to come in, right? You should not now be concentrating more on understanding how to write a piece of code, read a piece of code that someone else has written, debug it, go on n number of websites which offer become a programmer in 30 days or 365 or 24 hours or whatever. In my opinion, 80% of the YouTube videos on programming is waste. Includes my programming videos too. I'm really wondering who will use my programming? मेरा तो assignment का जितना भी questions है on NPTEL, whatever I put there, it answers from Python to deep learning courses. Object type question, it beautifully answers. I don't know whether you people have tried or not. I don't know whether I can tell this to you or not. That's another question which maybe Naveen guy like people should take a look at. In my humble opinion, this is totally my opinion, we should not restrict students from using ChatGPT. The idea is to be creative by using ChatGPT. I should not say without ChatGPT, without Python, without C, without microprocessors. You code in zeros and ones. What do you mean by code in zeros and ones? I mean, you don't even know. No. It's like fundamentals. You understand what is more fundamental than zeros and ones. The electrons moving from one place to the other. You understand how that happens. That doesn't make sense. Where do you want to go? Why would you want to do that? What muscle are you going to work on? Right? There's no need for you to blow up your back muscle so much if you're not into, let's say, rugby like sports. If you're into football, just work on your core. Why do you want to do so? Why do you want to become a martial artist to play football? Right? So instead, concentrate on, let's say, play Sudoku puzzles to keep your mind fresh. Right? There's no need to work at a lower level. So programming, chalo, seekhte hain. At one level, we'll understand. But then now the era has come where you should understand how to fix the code with the help of ChatGPT-like devices. पहले हम दे देते हैं sorting करो. Right? We could not go beyond bubble sort. Maximum was merge sort, quick sort. Today, I can teach you tim sort, which Python uses. Slightly non-trivial programming technique. The internal details of it, basically it's insertion sort and merge sort put together. But the internal details is way beyond just this. I can teach you that. The first lesson can be tim sort. in Python, not add two numbers, display pyramid. What all I have taught you people? No, that's inapplicable right now. I'm going to try my level best to, either correct them or create new videos where I say that those things do not follow, right? Because we have reached a stage. No, I think teachers like me should be brave enough to claim this without worrying about controversy creation. We should create controversies this way, so that unless we create cognitive conflicts in the minds of people will not grow out of it. They will continue to pester the students to not use this, not use that, not use calculators, use log tables, etc., etc. I think we don't achieve much out of being that ancient. Go cook in the forest with, you reinvent fire and then cook in the forest. Why do you need gas cylinders, right? For you to be a wonderful chef, you should know how to cook in the forest. I mean, okay, fine, for fun we can do it, but then when aeroplanes have arrived, we should not walk. We should walk for exercise reasons. Chalo, theek hai, आधा घंटा करते हैं. Count your 10,000 steps per day. But then you should use aeroplane to go reach your city next, right? So with this, let me check what has happened to my CMake. Yes, thankfully it's installed. Okay, so let me continue to struggle with the code. Let's see whether it will work right now or not. It is throwing some error. No module named face recognition. While I think I installed it, maybe I should reinstall it. Okay, so let's reinstall it. I hope you all can see the screen. This should reinstall and this should work. So what's the moral of the story? If it works, I'll tell you once it works. What's the moral of the story? If the code doesn't work, give a long talk and then get back, the code will work. Right? It is still a huge zipping from 1 week to maybe 20 minutes, right? So after this, we can keep the hall open for questions. I think given there are around 100 participants, it will be easier if it's a Q&A session. That way I'll get to know the pulse of what is required from the audience. Santeri, can you come in if you're around? Santeri or
Yes,
Ram
sir.
Deepak? Yeah,
Yes,
so
sir.
how much time do I have?
So it's up to you. You can take as long as you want.
Don't say that to me, because me and some of our students are notorious for going on and on without having any sense of time. Any person who has done a first semester of MBA course will say this is not the right way to handle a thing, right? Going on and on. But then the fun is when we go to the coffee shop and then drink coffee and then start off and don't stop. Right? Academics works like that. Anyways, it's going on. Meanwhile, we will start with some questions if possible. I will keep a watch on this. It may take some time to install. See, one of the problems with ChatGPT is if you're trying something new, that something new will use an API from GitHub or install a brand new package like OpenCV2. It will take its own time and they will have dependencies, right? These things can also be automated. It's not very difficult. Write a piece of code, whatever error comes, feed that back. And whatever it says is missing installation, you install that. And this thing can be a code today, right? Why should it be a Sudarshan who will see what is happening and then do back and forth can be coded is what I'm saying from a long time, right? Okay, Santeri, we can keep the hall open for questions. Go ahead, ask me your share of questions. I have given a different flavor of the talk. I wouldn't give this flavor if it's a bunch of non-technical people. I wouldn't give this flavor if it's technical, but not computer science. I know the background of BS students. So I thought, let us emphasize on the moral of the story being automation. Okay. The elevator pitch in 30 seconds. How do you convince your worth? That way, you know what should be your worth and you can backtrack and work on it. Right? Yeah. Go on. Questions.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah. So raise your hand if you have a question. We'll put you on the queue and then we'll go one by one. Atharva, go ahead.
Yeah, I totally agree with the point you made that basically the few becoming the elite, etc., etc. It's that exact thing, right? But by saying that I will be the person who automates your entire system, isn't that like digging your own grave? That the moment the automation is complete, I am no longer needed in the system, and if I am not needed, I can be fired. So like,
Correct.
Isn't it like digging my own grave, saying that I will automate everything? So the moment this company's automation is done, of course they'll consistently need me for some small thing or the other, but after the major chunk of my job is done, the automation will mostly come to a stale point.
At a philosophical level and at a practical level. At a philosophical level, we must dig our grave. Someday, all of us are going to go away. But we will make our, make our hay when sun shines. Right. So today it's the era of automation. Yesterday it was the era of automated the level of computation. Today it's at the level of automated the level of computers programming. Right. The ways in which we have evolved says that more and more expertise means less and less people required to do the same task. Right. Supermarket में पहले जितना लोग हमें चाहिए था उतना लोग नहीं चाहिए आज. वो और कम हो रहा है. To get that done, we need people, right? Once we get everything done, imagine all code is written. There is no more code required. Then programmers will not be required. This is a very, very, very hypothetically also incorrect thing to state that all code is required. There's always something to be written based on the requirement, right? But that requirement-based coding is becoming simpler and simpler. So maybe the workforce required will go down. As I said, software की तरफ ज़्यादा लोग जाते थे पहले. हार्डवेयर की तरफ नहीं जाते थे क्योंकि people would go towards software, not towards hardware, simply because software was more in demand and less in supply. Now, when software becomes more in supply and the demand will obviously reduce and it induces the demand towards hardware, people will obviously say, now we need hardware. People who can understand IoT device ka integration because software is now resolved. See, once you have massive software available, it will open up more opportunities, right? For that opportunities, you need human beings, right? For instance, think about it. Let me give you a small example. When automation happened in the 1990s at the level of software, some of the pioneers in this direction, Aziz Premji and Shiv Nadar, Narayan Murthy, all of them probably struck a deal with the US saying that, why do you have to do the task that we can get it done from India? We have techies, we have smart people, we'll get it done for you. You stay there, we'll send the software from here. Right? They saw an opportunity. They got it done. And Bangalore, Hyderabad, Gurgaon, Pune, like places were filled with software engineers. That took away the jobs of many people who otherwise would write the entries in the ledger. But with that, imagine, let's say Bangalore alone. Do you think Bangalore only has software engineers? There are drivers for these software engineers. The number of buses have increased. Internet service providers are, dime a dozen in Bangalore right now, offering you different kind of packages and, premium food service, restaurants, real estate. I mean, what not? The metro possibility in a place like Bangalore became a reality because of the techies' very presence there. Probably, I may be wrong here. Maybe an economist can do a survey and then correct me or sort of fine tune my statement. But then you get the point, right? The intuition here is that it doesn't just remove 100 people and put 10 people over there. If you remove 100 and put 10 rich people, you better pay them well, and they create an ecosystem. See, you buy a car, the car requires service. For the service, you need some people over there, right? At the end of the day, this closed system will probably have job opportunities. But the person who was entering in the ledger will lose his job. But he must be well aware of what is opening up this side. It's a small string that is being pulled. Let's say this side and that side. When you pull it this side comes this way. When you pull it this side comes this way. At the end of the day, the net sum is constant. As they say, the zero sum game. Right, in game theory, that you only have 24 hours. How you use it is left to you. As I keep saying, giving an example of stock market, the amount of money is constant. It just keeps moving from one person's account to the other. Nobody makes money, nobody loses money, in the sense that money is neither created nor destroyed here. Right? Even jobs, nobody creates or destroys them. They just shift, that's all. In my little understanding, I'm not an economist. I'm a computer science. I'm a computer scientist, but in my very little understanding of economics, I don't think there's anything worth worrying here, provided you update yourself. And that's very important. It's very easily said than done, easier said than done, simply because update yourself means what? Up software thodi na ho. Click karke you go to version 2.0 from yourself. The idea is to keep an open mind and be entrepreneurial and try to understand that what you can do, what you can get things done are two different things. You should move from what you can do and what you can get things done as you age, and know what is coming next, and get things done from people. If you're too old for it, get it done yourself if you're on the younger side. Anyone and everyone will benefit from this, in my opinion. But then one should keep their eyes wide open. To whatever philosophical inclinations on let's say creativity is gone, chat GPT is crap, I will not touch it, I will not do it, I'll do it the classical way. Means you walk from Delhi to Bangalore, it's left to you. You don't use an aeroplane. You will not just take months together, you probably will be so endangering your very presence, right? So probably a short story, I made it long. A shorter version of that is I don't think we need to worry, although time will tell us, right? Yeah, Akash.
Sir, if a catch-22 situation happen, how will ChatGPT will answer that? Because if a condition like servers are down and HIPAA rules tells us like we can't share the privacy of a patient. At that position, if we change anything, ChatGPT can't answer that. In that situation, what will happen?
See, a very, a very funny example I would like to quote. See, ChatGPT is a Spider-Man. We use web, boom, 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 goes from one building to the other. आप Spider-Man को stop करके बोलते हो, आप Superman बन जाओ. You go fly and show me like Iron Man. Spider-Man is Spider-Man. I mean, he only spins web and then moves from one building to the other. He cannot jump. At least not the version of Spider-Man we have seen so far in Marvel, right? So it cannot do a few things. It cannot basically, you give it a catch-22 situation, it should not answer it. For instance, even a simple arithmetic operation, there are a lot of people posting that on their social media sites. I'm happy that it doesn't answer. It is very clear on what the model is. They have not integrated a simple calculator into it because it's a language model. What is a language model? Language model is something, it looks at all the English that is ever spoken from the corpus given, and it learns what kind of things are here, so that anything about that corpus or anything inferential from that corpus, it can answer. As simple as that. Usme arithmetic operations shayad nahi hai. And 2 plus 3, but my wife says it is 6, a popular joke on ChatGPT. Then ChatGPT says, yes, probably you're right, it is 6. That's how it is trained. How long will it take for me to simply integrate a simple calculator there, back and make Python script will simply take your inputs and then do the mathematical calculation, then boom, gives you the answer. And it says, no, if Python is right, this is right. If this is wrong, then Python is wrong. Bolke ChatGPT can abuse, right? So the point is this, the point is ChatGPT better not do many things. Let's be clear on what it is and what it cannot do. But with time, I think it should have integrations. For instance, your Alexa device, your Siri device can do hardcore computation. So you ask Alexa, what is that? Alexa, multiply 99246132 into 1722134. Boom, it does in no time. Right? Does it mean Alexa is better than ChatGPT? No, it's integrated. Calculator is integrated there. Here it is not in this version. Wolfram Alpha, Wolfram ka, you know about Wolfram, right? It can integrate, differentiate, do whatever complex mathematics that you can ask. We can integrate that here, although that is proprietary. Something similar to that, maybe Octave, which is an open source equivalent of MATLAB, can be integrated this side. Just that it is not done. So my request to you all is, just because it cannot do a simple arithmetic calculation, do not dismiss it saying that I'm not going to learn this. This is not something that I'm impressed with. Look at what all it can do. Yeah, Bharat.
So this is slightly off topic, but I'm pretty sure ChatGPT is incapable of true random number generation, whereas quantum computers are capable of that. So what do you see, like a bigger paradigm shift for AI plus quantum computing?
Yeah, so that's right. So if it's only random number generation, there are state-of-the-art algorithms with the ChatGPT can write. For instance, look at this. Although your question is slightly different. Oh, this is done already. Good, done and dusted. Excellent. Just give me a second. Google Chrome. Do you see here ChatGPT? Can someone put a thumbs up that you're able to see this? help me with a Python code which generates big random numbers. Let me do this over a new chat window. Okay. See, it may not be able to give you a big random number, but it writes a code which can help you get a random number, which means take a pause and think. ChatGPT indirectly can generate random numbers. ChatGPT can write a code which takes a complex mathematical expression, take the inputs for those variables, and then give you the answer. Right? So it is meant to only generate text. It is not meant to compute. Now, coming to the next question of integrating this with the very computation model, right? I mean, that's going to be very big if it can do it, right? Because quantum computing means factoring is going to be simple. Quantum computing means communication is going to come at zero cost, right? That will change the horizon like anything. Plus ChatGPT like language models. I don't think there are any language models and inference capabilities built into the quantum computing model, right? This plus that will be a huge, revolutionary technology ever from mankind, in the history of mankind probably, right? Yeah, only time will tell us, although I don't know. I've been thinking that AI ko hype kar rahe hain hum, itna bhi nahi hai jitna bola jata hai, but then boom, it proved us wrong. ChatGPT is like a biggest revolution, something that I thought I'll never see in my lifetime. A system that can code and given the English statement can give me the code in written. Right? It's doing right now. We don't know. Quantum computing could also be a reality, if not next year, maybe 10 years down the line. I don't know. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Next, Guru Sharan. Bharat, you're done. Guru Sharan, go ahead.
Hi, yes, sir. Hi, sir. So my question is, coding and these things are okay, but what about the basic things like farming and other stuff? Farming and other stuff with the ChatGPT or thing.
I didn't get you. Can you type and send it across?
Yeah. Sure. Hello, sir. Sure, sir.
Just a minute. Meanwhile, let me try to execute the code. Looks like the code is working. So what's the question? Generating text is okay, but what about things like maintenance, updation, and other stuff, and other things like farming? So see, I think we all should understand. That's a good question, though. When something comes, let's say driverless cars, assume it becomes reality. We should not extrapolate it to driverless trains and driverless fighter jets, right? So farming is very different from what generative text is doing today. But in farming, you have precision farming, you have technology entering farming, right? You use drones, and drones use vision technology, and vision technology means what? Massive amount of coding, and massive amount of coding today has become easy. So massive amount of coding is possible. Drones are possible with state-of-the-art vision technologies, and hence farming can be better. Farming can be easy, right? So this interdependency make computation was a big elephant in the room. Elephant in the room means if there's an elephant in the room, it's very difficult for you to do anything else. That becomes a major problem for you, right? Computation from now onwards is not a major problem. That's the connection, right? Definitely it cannot do a lot of stuff, but the point is it can simplify the existing. There is a supply chain of technology. Supply chain means what? You want to get a burger. To eat a burger, you go to McDonald's. In McDonald's, the person prepares burger by using the raw materials. Where does he get the raw material? There are so many raw materials. Some raw materials come from abroad too, right? We do not know. right? All the tasteness, etc. they use probably is made and kept from its import quality or export quality or whatever, right? It's a huge ecosystem, huge supply chain there. He gives this to him, he gives this to him, and finally it comes here, right? Of course, MACD is not a good example of supply chain. A good example of supply chain is a chocolate that you buy. How it's prepared, how it comes to you is an easier example. Similarly, a piece of technology has this supply chain of dependencies, right? Usme jo bhi computation ka dependency hai, that is now close to being vanished or simplified. It has not gone to 0. 100 has become probably 10, right? What exactly is the number? Only time will tell us. But yes, there is a huge compression in the time and manpower required with the computation part of the bigger supply chain that we're talking about. Yes, Harsh.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Yes, please go ahead.
Sir, my question is, recently we are studying on a education system where we are taught about the things that ChatGPT is already doing. So
Okay.
how can we make sure to update ourselves and not spend so much time on those things that ChatGPT is already doing, and focus on ways to get better insights on how to develop something that somebody else cannot take over, like ChatGPT?
Okay. So, good question, which I answered already. The elevator pitch example was basically that. Firstly, this is just the beginning. I keep saying, "Oh, Gana hai na? Kya hai? Abhi to party shuru hui hai." Right? So it has just now started. We don't know where it's going to go. We have to be those, smell hounds bolte hai na? Dogs that know which side the food is there, which side the danger is awaiting. Avoid the danger side and go towards the side where there is food. We all should be this, sense of smell, high on sense of smell dogs, the smell hounds who sort of have a directional ability of where the technology is moving and move in that direction. Right now, I have a feeling it is automation, a lot of device level integration. Right? We may have to learn these things. No, look at all of us. Many people are probably off learning full stack development or Bitcoin mining or blockchain technologies and all that. Some of you are interested in this postmodern computing. Right? We probably are smelling something this direction. So you want to move that side. Probably you will have an edge over others who are probably trying to do something that may not be tomorrow's technology. You never know. It could be the other way around also. I'm just giving you a hypothetical example that you must have this sense of smell on which direction what is happening. And if everybody knew it, if I were to give it to you in easy pieces, everybody would do it. Mm-hmm. Right? It should actually not be that. It is indeed not that. It is something that we all should figure out together. A small bunch of people, the world is going to be split. The software world probably will be split into 2080. There will be 5 rows. First row will be the people in the forefront. For you to be, you can be in the second, third, fourth, fifth row or the first row. First row is not meant for everyone. So there's now a divide. Anyone in the first row will move ahead. People in the second, third, fourth, fifth probably will shift or will have a low profile or whatever. I mean, still, I don't think anyone will lose their job and starve. There are going to be job openings. It may happen to you fast. Others, once the first row goes away, second row will come to the first row and slowly people will be in queue. But then what should we learn is a very quick question for which the answer is wait and watch. Follow the current affairs in technology, right? But still, it's a good question. Yeah, Naveen.
Hello, sir. It's so good to see you after so long time, sir. In new avatar, you are completely looking new. So, sir, my question is, sir, given that ChatGPT can code very fast within seconds, so is it safe to assume that the companies, the software companies will not need many software engineers? And if it is the case, then what will the near future will be? I mean, what jobs will be the current?
I told you, no? Elevator pitch. I told you, right? The elevator pitch.
Yeah, software jobs are like the current, highly demanded jobs and highly paying jobs. So in the future, what do you think it is going to be like the current scenario in the future? And one thing I read somewhere is that Chat GPT is a tool. We cannot get awesome things from Chat GPT unless we ask it to create, and that means you have to give it a very specific input to get your output,
No,
and
वही बोल रहा
that
था ना.
leads.
देखो, the many questions that you're asking. First question is that elevator pitch is the answer. What should we be
Mhm.
doing? That's a clear answer there, right?
Okay.
Smell, have a sense of smell on which direction you must go. Second thing is chat GPT में back and forth करना पड़ता है. That is just the beginning part. आज बोला ना, अभी तो पार्टी शुरू हुई है. So क्या क्या आने वाला है पता नहीं. And if the beginning is so awesome, I mean, imagine in fact, chat GPT has improved so much on a weekly basis. I'm observing that. We all are observing that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Initially that it would not have a chat conversation. It would not see it would not read from what is your expectation from before. Now it is able to do that. Math capabilities has come at the language model level, right? In 1 or 2 weeks, if there is massive improvement like this, in 1 month, I can, if chat GPT plus whatever they are saying, if that comes, I mean, we will go somewhere else. So we should probably wait and watch. What are the jobs can be a little difficult question to answer. And what will happen to software jobs? I think we answered. The first row will be in the forefront, and you people have to get to the first row. So I'm sure in your own program, in your own, you all are from IIT MBS program, you will have new electives coming up. I'm sure they're planning it already. So take up those electives and ensure that is why you say elective. Core is fundamental. Elective changes with the changing technologies, right? AI, ML advancement happened. We offered ML as a course. Deep learning came in. We offered deep learning as a course, right? Advanced NLP came in. I mean, modern NLP came in, and then reinforcement learning like courses were offered. Now there will be generative model understanding courses that will come ahead, and you should not shy away from that and say, many people are saying XYZ subject, I will take that up, because many people are in the second, third, fourth, fifth row. You should now look at what those 1/5 people are going to do and then join their bandwagon, right? Yeah, Naveen, go on.
Is prompt engineering going to be something of a job in
Yeah,
future?
be also very careful with all the jargons that people are using. Of course, prompt engineering is nothing but you using chat GPT like
Yes, sir.
interfaces.
Yes, sir.
That is what I
Yes,
said.
sir.
How can you automate the elevator pitch when you can tell the
Yeah.
CEO that you can get these things done? One litmus test that you all can do. One take-home message from today's discussion. The camera example that I gave you may be a little too sophisticated for you people. You may not be able to do that. But then identify a problem like that, which otherwise you wouldn't do because of your coding skills being weak or not up to the mark, which today is not the case, and get that done.
Yes,
it's going to be very easy, right? Anyway, in this context, Gopal Krishnan, is it? Gokula Krishnan, can you come in? Is Gokula Krishnan there?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Gokul Krishnan, maybe you can share your screen and do exactly what I tried doing. It's not working. There are more dependencies on my computer. It's not updated probably. So maybe you can show us. He said that it's not the same code is working now, sir. Maybe on his system we'll run and then see.
Yep. Please tell me if my screen is visible, sir. Am I audible first?
It's visible. It's visible. Go on.
Right. So the same thing. Help me write a Python code to detect faces in an image. Right?
You take a screenshot of our screen, maybe of all of us.
No, I actually took. Okay, so it
some
generated
image. Some image. ठीक है.
Yeah, actually I searched for something, and I took it from here.
Okay, perfect.
Right?
Perfect. They're all very bright and nice. Yeah, good.
Yeah. Sir. So it generated the code. I just copied. I also got the same error that you got. So I pasted the code. Sorry. Yeah. So I think is my screen here visible? Whatever.
Yeah, very visible. Very clear.
Right. So I also got the same error, and I did the same thing. I copy pasted this error to ChatGPT.
Okay.
Going back here. So how to run this? First, I didn't know what the library to install. So it said me to install this OpenCV Python. I did the same
So
thing.
let us see Gokula Krishnan as someone who I was role playing as just computer literate, right? So he's just going by whatever it's saying. Okay, go on.
Right, I'm just going. Yeah, exactly. So then I told that I got this error. What to do? I don't know. Then it's
okay.
So could not be. So this file is required for face detection. It should be included in OpenCV library installation. So just like how you also have got the same GitHub link, I open that link, and it's an XML file. Let me wait for it to load, or else I have it loaded here. Still taking.
So you manually downloaded from the GitHub repository, right?
Right. Yeah. I copied the text and created a
file and pasted it. Okay, very good.
Yes.
You clicked on raw and then copy pasted that file, is it?
Right. It's right. I raw copied it and then created a file. Say the same
Perfect.
name.
Perfect.
And then it said me to like put the path of where it is located.
Mm-hmm.
So Herschel code something face detection. So let me run this again. This again. So the input I have is basically I took a screenshot sometime back. This is what while we were talking, I took a screenshot. Let me run it again.
We are unable to see the terminal.
Oh, excuse me. Like
Maybe you can share the desktop itself so that as you move, this is also, it's also visible.
Okay, give me a second. Okay. Is it coming now, sir?
Yeah.
Right. So here is the code that I pasted, and this is the location of the XML file, which I copy pasted. And let me run this. Boom. Okay. I don't know how to share my entire screen.
No, just when you share, click on share screen, choose the desktop.
Screen. Okay.
Yeah. Now we are sharing the desktop. Yes, perfect.
Right, sir. So,
hey, wonderful. So you have taken our snapshot. Is it? Show it.
Yes, I did.
Show it. Hey, wonderful. Very nice. Oh, very nice, guys. I think he deserves a clap with a reaction. How do I clap? Clap. Good. Very nice. So some of you did not have the right lighting. Maybe that's why it did not detect Ram, Deepak, Naveen, but others it did detect. Yeah, very nice. Excellent. So maybe you all should try this. Maybe try something beyond this. Try to identify try to guess the age of the person by taking the pictures, right? I mean, some on the top of the whatever. I mean, you can stop sharing the screen.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
So at the top of your mind, whatever comes to your mind today, you can verify it like this. Isn't it fun to you took a picture? See, wait, pause for a second and then see what has happened. Gokula Krishnan is from, I'll make it interesting by giving you a different CV entry, Gokula Krishnan. I'll say you are a Bachelor of Arts in BA in Performing Arts, let's say, right? And you have taken a snapshot of this and you have written a Python code for this. And you can detect faces here, right? And you are from performing arts background. You may want to look at people who are dancing and then read their expressions on the face. So a video clip of 1 minute duration, what Gokula Krishnan does is writes a piece of Python code to break that into frames, detect the emotions of the person by looking at the face. All these things ChatGPT does, and finally gives a time series of emotions and checks whether the person did really well in emoting the right emotions as the person was dancing. I mean, awesome. Something who doesn't know, Gokula Krishnan doesn't know computing at all. He's from a very different background. He's able to apply advanced computer science in his background, which otherwise will take Gokula Krishnan 5 software programmers for the next few months to develop something like this. He's able to do it in no time. I'll bet it will take a week's time for him to write the right code and execute and then, make it run perfectly. But then, 5 days versus 3 months of 5 programmers, and cost involved, time involved, the reliability question there is just massive. So that is where postmodern computing lies. It's a question mark. Where are we going ahead? We should be able to do what it takes to get things done in 2023, whatever is today's date, 10th, 11th of February. If you try writing a C code for this, good, no problem, which Gokula Krishnan will show his magical abilities of simply typing on the chat GPT prompt. Convert this code to the C equivalent. As simple, make the code more modular. Have you tried all these things? Make the code more modular. I'll show you something that I recently looked at. Even I didn't know this. Look at this. Look at this. Generate big random number. No, I don't understand the code given here. Can you please help me with detailed comments? Okay, it will give us detailed comments. Naveen, is that screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's giving detailed comments. Now see, the climax comes next. All of you just watch. I mean, this I realized recently actually. See what happens now. Of course, it's giving me comments. Wonderful. Expected. We know what ChatGPT can do. Well, no, it doesn't help. It says, I hope this helps. Does it help? As my English is weak. I only know bare minimum English. Please comment in Hindi. In Devanagari script. How many of you think this will not work? Maybe you're right, it may not work. It's taking a long time.
Yes, sir. But it can write Hindi in English.
English, yeah, Hindi in
Yes,
English.
sir.
No, it can also write Hindi script. I have checked it. Maybe the servers are typical server error देने वाला है बस. Okay, let me. हाँ हो गया, शुरू हो गया.
Oh my God.
Okay, as it is typing, it may take some time. I'll just take a 1-minute break and get back. Okay, can someone tell me why is it taking such a long time?
Sir, it's not efficient currently in Hindi.
Oh, is it? हाँ, मैं हिंदी में टिप्पणी कर सकता हूं. It's very efficient. यहाँ वही कोड है जिसमें हिंदी में टिप्पणियां हैं. इससे ज्यादा क्या चाहिए भाई हिंदी?
maybe server
Random
availability.
module import करें. The reason why it's taking so much time is, see, this involves some computation and the API calls are restricted. I'm using it free of cost, right? Num digits की संख्या को एक तरफ, right? How many of you knew that it can write Devanagari scripts? Do you know something? I do not know the complete details, but looks like this is an unexpected byproduct. There is a video of I don't know, maybe you can Chat GPT by Computer Fill. Okay, Chat GPT by, let me just type it out in the chat window. Chat GPT by Computer Fill. He shows how Chat GPT by, you just watch this video on YouTube, not now, the moment we are done. Okay, he asks, do you know how to write this in German? I don't remember which language. He says some language. It says, no, I don't know that language. But then it starts writing. Chat GPT doesn't know it knows Hindi. That's because it has read a lot of text and learned the language, that it is proficient in the language. Someone said it is not very accurate. Isn't it accurate here? It is, right?
No, sir, I said efficient.
It is efficient, you said. Very good. So the reason why it's taking time is because वो थोड़ा API calls restriction है. हम लोग free में use कर रहे हैं and language translation भी हो रहा है ना? So it's not very, I don't think, that's my guess. That's probably the reason why it is taking time, but it will do it. I mean, leave it for 2 minutes, it is done. Oh, why worry? Now, imagine, I'm proposing this project to you all. Let's say all code in GitHub, Microsoft says, should have comment in Hindi, because there are so many Indians who are using GitHub repositories. And manually, they hire people to write comments in Hindi. Or write a big code which converts comments in Hindi. First of all, code should have comments. And then you translate that English to Hindi. Big project, all of you realize it? Now you see, ChatGPT can do it in no time. Just give this command, go through all the GitHub repositories. Of course, Microsoft has access to GPT, right? Go through all the code in GitHub and then convert that to a brand new repository with detailed comments and modular code, and then convert all the comments from English to Hindi. Over, it will do it. Maybe it may take a couple of months' time, so be it, no problem, but it will do it. But otherwise, this would take the workforce of at least 1 lakh employees for the next 2-3 years to do it. You see the massive compression that's happening here. So I still see many people going ahead with questions like it cannot do this, it cannot do that, but just concentrate on what it can do. That itself is really, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is one of the best. बोलते हैं ना, in many religious scripts, they say, if God comes in front of you, that's all you need to do. That's all you need to experience in life. And for me as a computer science teacher, this is God. I have seen how God looks like in this lifetime, and I genuinely thought this will not be a reality for the next few centuries to come. It's amazing that it is now a reality. What all it can do, what all it cannot do, the dangers of it, I think we can contemplate. But then let's see the upside of it. It has made your life simple. As you age, you cannot code. Today, a 70-year-old can code. It has made everybody's life very simple. There were some difference in only some kind of people are smart with programming. Not everybody can code. I have observed this in my own classes. I don't tell people, but I observe that some people naturally have this uncanny ability to code. But others, they struggle. They put forth 10 times more effort as these people, but still they cannot code. Now all of them can code. The divide has reduced between people who have this natural, genetically programmed ability to be smart, high aptitude people who can code, from people who probably are good at something else, but not so good at coding. They can also code. It has leveled up the talent pool like anything. And if this is not magic, I think no magician can show magic better than this. Okay, so with this, maybe we can stop. If Santeri is around, maybe we can conclude. Unless there are more questions, feel free to go ahead with questions. Lakshmi Nandan is asking. Okay. As an AI language model, I process and generate text based on the input I receive. Generating text in Hindi may take longer because it requires additional processing time. Exactly. Accurately translate the form, grammatically correct sentences. However, I'll do my best to respond promptly. It is taking more time. and the allocation of time for a user like me who is free riding on this software is limited. So that's why it is probably going very slow. If you see, OpenAI actually has different classification of, there is a Da Vinci, there's a Ada, you can pay for faster facility and things like that. Yeah, Santeri, on to you. Unless Ram Deepak has something to ask, go ahead. Ram Deepak, Adarsh, and we will conclude. Maybe Guru Sharan and Santeri will conclude. Go ahead, Ram Deepak.
Yes, sir. I tried generate. I asked for the poster for this event. It gave me an output, but it was not an actual poster. It was something like a pattern fitting in a console, but it gave something different. I didn't ask for, I didn't mention the date. I didn't
So
mention
do one
the
thing.
time.
Take the text for this event and put that in DALL-E. DALLE. That's another OpenAI initiative for image generation from text. I have a feeling it may create a good poster. Put all the details there, it may create a good poster. Right?
But what fascinated me was I never mentioned the time. I never mentioned the date, location. These details were mentioned in that poster. I think it provides something more than what we ask.
Can you show me? Can you show me? Do you have it on your screen ready? If it's there, you can
Yes,
show
sir.
us.
Just a minute. I think it's visible. I just asked for the poster. This something's printed in the console like thing, but I never mentioned this date, time, location.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So given that it's a poster, it automatically asks you for these things. In fact, a fun stuff that you can do, again, can be challenging. Maybe you can close the, even in Tamil, it very beautifully.
Yes, sir.
You can learn a language through this very nicely, like never before. So if you can close, we'll continue. So what you guys can do is whatever Ram Deepak tried, you can say, I wake up at 6 o'clock. I sleep at 10 o'clock. I work for 10 hours between this time. I do yoga for 15 minutes. I do pranayama for 15 minutes. I exercise for 30 minutes. I want to spend time with my family or friend for 1 hour. Create a schedule for me. It beautifully creates. And then the magic comes next. You can say, create a CSV file for this so that I can upload it on Google Calendar. It creates a format where you can upload it and that thing comes as an event in Google Calendar automatically. Beach mein kuch problem karta hai, CSV format cannot be uploaded on Google Calendar. It requires iCal format. For that, you can ask it to write a Python code to convert CSV to iCal. It does very well. Some hacks here and there, some fixations, and then boom, you're done. Now you can write a software which takes as text your day-to-day requirement and creates a Google Calendar for you and maintains it for you and learns from it regularly. Startup idea, right? Can be done overnight. Me and you can sit and probably over this weekend, we can finish the startup idea and go live on Monday morning, right? I mean, this was unimaginable a few months before, right? Yeah, thanks Ram Deepak for the demonstration. Excellent. Adarsh, go ahead.
Yes, sir. What do you think will happen when they start charging everyone for using ChatGPT?
Good question. Very, very good question. You think Google should charge us for Google search? Google knows very well if they charge, and if someone doesn't charge, we all will go that side. So they know that how to make money by not charging people at the same time getting business done. Because if we start charging, people will move towards the place where they do not charge. WhatsApp also was charging once upon a time. I don't know whether people know it or not. This is back in 2010. They had almost gone live on charging $1 per user, 50 rupees, 60 rupees back then per dollar, right? But then they realized this is not going to work, and then they stopped it. Right? Anything that comes with a price which can be easily replicated by someone else, although Google algorithm is patented, nobody can replicate it. What if someone comes out with a similar algorithm and beat the patenting part and still show that it is novel and different from Google and does the search? Business goes away, right? So they were very clever not to do that. They killed their competitors by keeping it free of cost. Similarly, this technology is a simple, the neural model that they have come out with doesn't look like something that cannot be replicated. Google has 1 lakh plus employees. OpenAI had started off with 4 or 5 employees, and I think 30, 40 people did all the work. And today it is 350, 400, 500 plus employees, whatever, it's a 3-digit number. Google has more than 1 lakh people. So Facebook has is of the same order, although Twitter is a small organization. I know only by statistics, Wikipedia data. Maybe it is different today. I don't know. They can easily do this. Anyone can do it if 300 people can do it. Right? It can even be a governmental service. For all I know, maybe Indian government can create its own large language model and keep it free for all of us. Right? The data they have used is from web crawler. Crawler world, crawler's world. The whole world's crawl data is available free of cost. They have mined that, probably some Wikipedia entries, and they have created this ChatGPT. That is not replicable. It's very, very easily replicable, which means they should not charge for this. Even if they charge, it should be for a shorter period of time, because someone else will come as a competitor and then kill it. Same was the situation with email, right? Do you think email is being charged? After level they charge for elite people who want to go beyond just checking email and want to use the Google suite, right? Yeah, Guru Sharan, maybe last question and Santeri can take over. Guru Sharan,
Yeah,
there?
sir.
Yeah, go
So,
on.
sir, put it in chat right now. Please take the chat. DM in the chat box.
Acha. Couple of questions, sir. Question 1: training the ChatGPT, which requires some time and some challenges, needed immediate guidance. How do you look at it in case of depending purely on these kind of AI tools? See, ChatGPT is a GUI part of the just begun party, as I told you. What's coming next is definitely going to be easier. You people should not start sharpening your skills with ChatGPT. Maybe a good place to start with is understanding how OpenAI works. Andrej Karpathy, who was at Tesla, has now moved back to OpenAI very recently, and he has a beautiful tutorial on how to use OpenAI. He also teaches what is called Nano GPT. The video is easy to understand. You open your Python interactive shell and then do what he does there. I think you all will find it. If someone finds it, please post it here. Others can also follow it. Andrej Karpathy. Andrej Karpathy, I don't know how they pronounce it. Watch that and then learn it. That probably is a good start. Do not worry so much about how to use ChatGPT better. Second question is, as we are aware, natural calamities destroy everything badly, affect the working of every equipment. Do you think a semi-automation can be a middle way instead of complete automation? I don't know an answer for this question. I'm not an expert, but if I can sort of envision with my little understanding of what is what, I feel natural calamities come with multiple parameters. Any multivariable modeling of this data set, which by the way should be available, that is where I was saying that now the software is ready. IoT devices should come in. Imagine you on a very large scale collect the seismic related parameters across the world. You have put a device in every single road on every single nook corner of the world. Probably that will help you predict where the waves are more prominent and what is coming next. Probably 10 years of data set is enough to predict earthquake and then empty that place in no time. 1 week advance, you will get to know that this place will have a 1-minute earthquake. I'm just guessing. Right? Right now, I don't think we have that kind of data, although I'm not an expert. Looks like we are not far away. Right? Yeah. On to Santeri. Santeri, thanks for the opportunity. You said TED style talk, but then I made it a lecture style long 2-hour session. I don't know why. If it's not for 2 hours, it's not enjoyable. If not a Bollywood movie, it should at least be a Hollywood movie, which is of 2 hours duration.
So, sir, it
Anyways,
was really interesting and really informative.
Thank you very much. So let's stay in touch. I also will take this opportunity to advertise about the upcoming course. By advertise, I don't mean we are not monetizing anything. I'm already paid well by the government of India. We are going to offer a course related to whatever Guru Sharan was asking where to start from. Maybe we will discuss the internals of GPT-3, understanding of large learning models, and what is coming next. We have been smell hounds too, trying to understand which direction to go. As we move, we will all we will ensure that we take you to. All the BS students, NPTEL students, many other students who are in touch with me on LinkedIn, please be on the lookout for the status updates there. Once the course comes, I'll let you people know. The course will come latest by upcoming summer, which is by July. I think I'm starting off right now itself, trying to make my share of notes and trying to contact people, because I alone cannot conduct this course. It's very heavy duty and heavy weight. Maybe 3-4 people will get together and then make it happen. Please stay in touch. I'm sure all of you are already there on my LinkedIn contacts. So if not, please connect with me or be in touch with Santeri like people, dynamic enough that they share whatever I share, and the information will reach you. Thank you all. Santeri, move on. Sorry.
Yeah, Ram.
Yeah, go on, Santeri.
Yes, Santeri. Thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation. It was indeed a very fruitful session, from starting off being at a TED Talk to making us code on real time, giving us a lot of insights. With that, thank you so much from us. We really thank you a lot. Words are not enough. And finally, to all the participants, thank you for participating, believing in us. This is the first session, and we have kickstarted it with a great person. That's the end of the session. Finally, I would like to thank the supporting members, Gokula Krishnan, Sanderi, but Lakshmi Nandan and others. This is Ram Deepak and team signing off. Thank you.
Again, thank you so much, sir.
Bye-bye. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you all.
Good night.